What do you think would happen if Waspinator got, like, upgraded, like, became transmetal or something like that?
You mean, like, got upgraded to, like, be in the new movie kind of upgraded?
No, the upgrade that, Optimus Primal got when the transmetal wave hit.
Not even bother worrying. Waspinator, no. Waspinator get transmetal upgrade. Guess what happens? Universe reigns all over Waspinator. Waspinator rusts.
Please welcome Garry Chalk. And Candace. Candace, you sitting up there. Scott MacNeil. There's Susan Blu. And Venus Terzo. Hey.
Boom, boom.
Welcome. Ooh, this is too loud. Welcome. And let's turn that gain down a little bit.
Okay, there we are.
I'm not going to make everyone deaf.
Are we on?
I think we got to turn those on. Are those?
Are we on?
Yep.
Hello.
Testing, 1, 2. Testing.
Testing.
Those are,
Check.
Hand the check over to Gary.
It's catching.
Yeah.
Could I ask a question for everybody before we start? If you ask a question, could you speak clearly and slowly because the acoustics in this room are not good and my hearing is not great? That would be wonderful if you could do that for me. Thank you.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay.
Welcome, everyone, to Botcon 2023. All right, I'm so glad that you all could make it today. Right now, we're going to do our Beast Wars panel, and we have some very special guests here who I've already introduced, but I'm going to do it again for the people that came in late. So, starting over here to the left, we have Venus Terzo. We have Susan Blu. We have Scott MacNeil. And the always awesome Garry Chalk. So we're going to do, this is a Q&A panel. Garry alluded earlier, please, if you're asking a question, please be as clear and concise as possible. I'm going to hand you a mic so you can be heard, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I guess we can just do a little talk amongst ourselves and just talk to the crowd.
Who wants to go first?
Hello. Well, I just want to say a big thank you to the organizers of Botcon and a very special thank you to all the volunteers who have made this weekend very special. And I know how tired and how, crazy it's been, but I just want to say a big thank you to them and a very big thank you to all of you for being here today.
That was beautifully said. Now, could you do it one more time? And just give me a little bit more energy with it. Hey,
Sue, are you voice directing?
I can't help it. Yeah, thank you, you guys. I mean, the reason that we're here is because of you guys. There's no way we would be here without you wanting us to be here. So thank you. I'm very humbled and grateful.
Yeah, you follow that one, MacNeil.
You know, they say in this industry sincerity is everything. And once you've learned how to fake that, you've got it made. But I mean, you guys, everything that you say is true. And by the way, Sue Blu has been making all three of us jump through hoops for like decades now. And you are my favorite director, and I've said that a million times.
I love you, Scott.
I love you too, Sue. How's my makeup? I really do. I really do. Sue's amazing. We've been doing this for a while. Yeah. I mean, use words properly. I mean, you guys being here is astonishing. I'm looking out right now and I'm going, I've met most of you already. And even through my scrambled brain, I'm actually remembering some names, which is rare. But you guys are like sparkly and shiny and amazing. And the energy when you walk into a place like this, it's got that kind of energy. It comes whipping off the dance floor. And, you know, it hits us sitting at our tables, and it's better than coffee in the whole frickin' world. It's like amazing, and that's from you guys, because you guys are rock stars.
What he said.
Except better and more authoritarian.
Yes, except better with the louder and bigger voice. But no, I again iterate. I think this is Botcon's first trip to Rutherford, New Jersey, and I think they've done a bang-up job. And well done, bravo, kudos to all you guys out there. And again, so thankful for all you people out here who make it possible for us to be here. And so I say thanks again. And what he said.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and open it up for questions. But I want to go down memory lane for a minute. You guys remember this?
The hand that came up first.
He's good at first. I actually saw him.
got
Bit of a keener.
I know. Sit down here with you.
He's still got his hand up.
Okay. I'm going to try.
Yeah, we'll see what sounds you make when you get back up now.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen if Waspinator got like upgraded, like became transmetal or something like that?
You mean like got upgraded to like be in the new movie kind of upgraded?
No, the upgrade that Optimus Primal got when the transmetal wave hit.
Not even bother worrying. Waspinator, no. Waspinator get transmetal upgrade. Guess what happens? Universe reigns all over Waspinator. Waspinator rusts.
True enough.
Any thoughts about the transition back then from regular animation to more 3D animation? Was it a shift at all, or you just saw a character on the screen and it was the same technique?
I really love 2D animation. I really love the old-fashioned animation. And I think the very first show, scold me if I'm wrong, that they did 3D with was Reboot.
Yeah.
And you know, it got better as time went on, and I think Transformers was a very new show to 3D. And what was great about it was, you know, we were all robots. In 3D animation, in the beginning, if you notice the hair, they could never get the hair
To move.
you know, I mean, it was crazy. So, I mean, I just love 2D animation, but I think it's really opened up because of 3D. And they can really animate a lot quicker. So that's my thought on it.
Yeah, kind of from our point of view, it didn't make any difference as far as working in the studio. Except, you know, we had to act in 3D, which is difficult.
That's why we were all together.
That's right, especially for those of us that tend to live in the fourth dimension anyway. But, yeah, as Sue said, I mean, Reboot was the first one, and you think how much CG has progressed in such a short amount of time. I mean, it was the same guys. I don't know if anybody, the Dire Straits Money for Nothing music video. That was the first. That was the same guys that started Mainframe and started doing. So we did Reboot. We did War Planets, Weirdos, and then well, actually, I think Beast Wars was the second one.
Yeah, Beast Wars.
But what made it? I mean, straight up, what made Beast Wars such an outstanding series was the writing. And that was Larry and Bob. And a lot of, we've been doing a lot of, when the writing's that good, we started to kind of know, like, we're involved in something special here. We didn't know how special it was going to be. Not hockey helmet special, but like special, well, maybe a bit of both. So it was one of the first North American style shows that we had done with an ensemble cast where it wasn't like, okay, 22 minutes of fun adventures and we're going to save the universe and then we're going to do a little PSA at the end and sell some action figures. The storyline, the 3-year storyline of Beast Wars was extraordinary and we got to go along on that journey. The other thing that was cool, because it was so hands-on, was, they were there, the people that were doing the designs and the animation and everything were coming into the sessions. So the characters got to grow a lot more organically because of that interaction, and then because of the animation style, they were able to, like, Waspinator was originally a pretty straight-ahead bad guy. And then Doug and I monkeyed around with the voice and came up with this thing, and then the writers started going like, but Neil's an idiot, man. Let's just start writing it like that. And perfect. But I remember when we saw the first episode, we're just like, dark. Because there was little things when Megatron went, yes, side guns, and his little hand did this little beep. I get goosebumps. Look at that, legit. It was brilliant. When I first saw Rattrap talk, I'm going, that's exactly. I was talking to moving in the studio, except he didn't grab his crotch as much. The stuff. And so they were able to capture nuances. And what animation is to me, the greatest of animations, it's not making something move, right? Anybody can make the jaws and the mouth and the face move. Animation is breathing life into it. Like Chuck Jones, I think, was the greatest animator of all time because he could do more with his characters with a blink of an eye, just a bink, bink. Bugs Bunny, Roner, all the Warner Brothers stuff. There was so much life, and the Mainframe guys got to do exactly that through a computer, but not make it seem like it was generated by a computer because they put the life into the characters. Every bit as much as we did, every bit as much as the writing did. And it was stunning to watch for us. Is the first time was just like, wow. That was almost sincere, wasn't it? And it's that sincere.
I'm gonna go back to the back for a second, and then work my way up.
I just want to add one thing. It was the actors, though, because the tracks were done before the animation. So when those animators came in to watch a session, these actors had to be brilliant. These actors had to be really good to give the animators the ideas to be able to animate to the dialogue track. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah, a little add I'll throw into that just because people ask all the time, and they sort of, there's this idea that we just kind of stand there in front of a microphone with our hands in our pockets. And with the exception of the esteemed Ian James Corlett, who in fact does stand there with his hands in his pockets in front of the microphone, and yet delivers these ridiculously amazing animated performances, people that have come in and watched are surprised at how physical it actually is. Like, we're usually, speaking Gary, a bunch of monkeys in the studio. And people come in, it's like, is it always like that? It was like, oh yeah, you've only got one thing to channel the whole performance through. But that whole performance has to be there. You're not standing there doing a voice, you're doing a character. So that's a little inside information.
I love the way that
every character had a gesture. I remember Tarantulas, Alec Willows. He was always going,
yes, this is what we're going to do now.
It was so creepy. I feel unclean still.
Well, we all had our gestures. And when he was playing Silverbolt, it was always strike that and go, I love you, Black Arachnia.
And
it was very bizarre, but where did that relationship go? And that's the one thing I loved about the recording ensemble in the studio, is because the performances became very organic. You feed off of each other. You're not just trying to guess what the other person's going to say or how they're going to react. They just react the way they would in a moment, like in real life on camera acting.
Especially tarantulas that would literally try to feed on you.
Yes, I know. And you just go, hi. Anyway, there was a question way in the back.
So I just wanted to add to that. Sue really helped us a lot, because when we first started recording Beast Wars, we would do line by line, right? And then as time progressed and as you got to know us better and our characters, we got to do scenes. Remember, you let us run the scene, which was really cool because it gave us a chance to not just do like one line at a time, but actually run the scene and play the moment. And it was a lot of fun. And
I got to do scenes with myself.
And
everybody else is just leaving.
And when that happened, we all had to leave the room.
Scott's got one of his scenes.
Now this poor guy is just sweating bullets here trying to get this question out.
So, if there's going to be a sequel to Rise of the Beast, do you think they're going to add Rattrap, or like, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, but it'd probably be voiced by Taylor Swift.
Oh dear.
They may not have the best interests of the franchise at heart, is all I'm saying.
Well, it could be John Leguizamo as well. So
yeah, you know, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with that.
So would I. It's like, that's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
Would I do it? Yes. Would I ask a lot of money? Yes. Would I end up doing it for free? Probably.
Hi, was the G1 connection always planned, like from the start, or did it like pop up somewhere along the line?
Yes. We are simple actors. We do not know the answers to your question.
The G1 connection?
Meaning, like, you know, they ended up finding, this is actually Earth millions of years ago. Oh, dang, there's the Ark. All that. Was that like eventually leading up to that plan from the beginning, or did it end up coming?
I think it evolved. It didn't happen in the beginning because we were coming from a completely new place. We're looking at 20 years difference between Generation 1 and ours. But then it slowly evolved, and so that timeline came into play, as far as I know. And I mean, you know.
They'll find us, the G1 connection, Transformers, and robots, and me.
We're going to do that. Reboot the musical. No. Transformers, the musical.
Hey, work for Star Trek.
Or for Rattrap the musical.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Rattrap on ice.
Okay, we have a question. Who has the microphone? Okay, he who has the mic speaks.
Hi, so my question's for Scott. What was it like having to argue with yourself?
Speak clearly.
I heard
I'm excited. So my question's for Scott. What was it like having to argue with yourself as Rattrap and Dinobot?
You know, sometimes there's things that are on the inside that you don't see, but then you get to see them on the outside and you realize what it's like on the inside. Yeah, it's that.
One more answer like that, vermin, and I will take you out the old-fashioned way.
Brutally! Yeah, well, I didn't see you try it there, Dino Boob. Or should I say, I know. Shut up, Rattrap.
We're all gonna die. No more fighting. Fighting gives Waspinator a headache in his whole body.
And then, of course, Silverbolt would step in and say, citizens, I am strong, proud, brave, fast, and dumb as a sack of hammers. And that's kind of what it's like.
I remember when I used to see faces out there. Now you just see phones filled up in front of their face.
Hi, sorry. So Dinobot started the Stone Age, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
And for you, Gary. So my Optimus is also it's a fire truck and a gorilla, which is not a monkey. It's a non-human primate because monkeys have tails. So how do you guys feel about like the controversy of Beast Wars when it came out?
There was a controversy.
Yes.
Don't look up Trunk versus Monkey ever on the internet.
Well, personally, I like them both. I like the Trunk and the Monkey because they're cool. What can I say?
It's a Trunky. And thematically, you're absolutely correct. Monkeys do not, in fact, have titties. You know what's weird? When Beast Wars came out, or Beasties, we had to call it in Canada.
It came out, and there was an immediate sort of knee-jerk backlash reaction from Gen 1 fans. I mean, kind of rightly so. This was like varied. But it was neat because it didn't take long for the writing to take effect, and people started going, oh, wait a minute. This is good. And then people kind of started to come aboard, and it was neat to watch.
You guys did a lot of episodes and a lot of really good scenes and things together and so on. I want to ask, was there ever an episode that you did where you were like, this is so good it needs a sequel, why aren't we doing this? Or was it an episode you're like, I want more of this specific storyline or story arc, and you were kind of sad that it had to end it in 22 minutes and you didn't get the follow-up?
Yes, Gary?
Besides just a fourth season, obviously.
Well, you know what? I've got to be quite honest with you. When Dinobot was killed, it killed me. I thought there was so much more, there was so much dimension and growth to that guy's character. He could have gone on a lot further, but no, he had to die in that painful episode. And that was one thing that I would like to have seen extended further and further. And I don't also, with myself, well, I just go along for the ride. That's all.
At the time, you just said, thank God he's gone.
Well, there was that.
Can I say?
While we're being nice to each other, thank you, Gary, by the way. I've watched Code of the Hero a couple of times now because I hadn't seen it until I went to my first Botcon and people were like reacting, and I watched it and it was like, God damn, the writing. And the show was so good that we were able to, I became a fan of the show. I would just watch it. It had nothing to do with the fact that we were in it. But your eulogy for Dinobot, it kills me every frickin' time I've watched it. I goosebump up and I start crying like a baby. It's so beautifully delivered, so beautifully written. And that's all you, buddy.
Well, thank you. What can I say?
If I have
Thanks so much.
Dead now, Gary's doing my eulogy.
I gotta say, putting, I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse to lose Dinobot, because having him in Depth Charge on the same show, somebody would have chose violence.
My question is mostly a design question, as I've also heard a lot of people debate this. I know that Optimus Primal also has the mask where he can remove it. You think it would be better if Optimus Primal kept the mask on all the time, or do you think having the big blue mouth was fine? And in War for Cybertron, they give him big lips. So,
well, I'll tell you, with the mask on, it's easier for foreign countries to do ADR because there's no lip flaps to match. But I wouldn't mind seeing the old Doc's mouth. I mean, what the hell? He's worthy. And why should I get off so easy? Why should other foreign actors get off so easy? Let them match mine. Because I've matched theirs often enough.
And screw the mandate.
That's right.
No masks for Optimus.
That's right. No masks.
So when it comes to doing voices with any character in any show, do you guys have... Can you hear me? Yes?
I can hear you. I just don't know where you are.
I'm right here in front of you. Hi.
I mean, sometimes I hear voices from up in the...
How often is it your own? But no, when you guys are choosing voices for your characters, any show, how much is the director looking for a specific voice, and how much is it your choice? And how do you pick them?
Yeah.
May I?
Well, first off, I'd like to when Sue Blu here, who directed, chose me for Optimus, I was originally going to be Megatron. But they thought that somehow that David Kaye would be a better Megatron and I would be a better Optimus. And I remember you telling me, okay, make him warmer, Make it, yes, make him more, not stern, but fatherly. Make him this, make him that, and going adding all these things until we finally came to a point where he became a mammalian, organic human, basically a human, and it turned out apparently perfect. But that's for that character. But a lot of times they'll get a drawing. And you'll look at it and you'll get a sort of a character sketch. And you look at the physicality of the character. What kind of a voice? Has he got a big voice, a little voice? Is he scrawny and thin or big and fat? Does he have an accent? Is he mean or is he nasty? Whatever. Does he have teeth? Does he have big jowls or no? Or whatever he has. Or she has. And, or they. Today. And you look at it and you say, well, even though it's a cartoon, it still has attachment to the real world. And the important thing about any character is that we as an audience have to care about that character. And the only way that we care is if what comes out of you as an actor is honest and for real. Because even though it's a fantastic character, they live in this fantastic world, but in that world, they're real, right? And that world is real to them. So if you make it real to you, then we as an audience listen to you and go, oh, yeah, okay, I like that. Because what's the worst thing that can happen to an actor in an animated production is for someone not to care about them. If you're a bad guy, if we really hate you, yes, I'm doing my job. If we really love you, yes, I'm doing if we feel for you. It's all those attributes, and they come partially out of the how you analyze the voice for yourself. And it's kind of an organic connection between you and the director and, of course, the creators of the characters as well, right? So that's my take on it.
I forgot what I was going to say. That's 100%. The greatest voice actors in the world that have ever existed and probably will ever existed. I mean, I say number one all the time is Mel Blanc, and I say this all the time, is that they never, ever, ever created a voice. Because, anybody can create a voice. They always 100% created a character. Yeah. A character. Even though my therapist tells me that rabbits don't talk, screw you, they do too. As far as creating the voices and coming up, because I know you specifically asked about this, there's different, sometimes you will get a ream of information of exactly what the producers want. Sometimes it's too much, because it's usually well, we're sort of thinking kind of this, but it also has to be that. We want them to have the qualities of water and color, but it should sound more like, but sometimes you get nothing. I say what Garry says, I work personally off a picture. If I see a picture of a character, I got a fairly clear idea of what's happening. What used to happen in the days of going into audition, and there would be casting directors there even before you got to work with the directors, somebody that when it becomes I'll cite from what I know, when I went into it, and Doug Parker was the one that did the casting on Beast Wars, who also played Terzo. Yes. I went into audition for this thing, and I'm reading for all the characters, as I do. So we came to Waspinator, and it's okay, Waspinator is just a pretty standard bad guy, right? And so I'm kind of doing my thing. Sometimes I'll go okay, that's what you guys think you want to hear. Sometimes I'll go, well, I got an idea you want to try, or they'll say what you just did sucked, but what else you got? So you come up with those stuff. But Doug went, that little bubble voice you do? And I'm like, well, my little cutesy Booter, I want him prison. He's like, yeah, do that, but he's a bad guy. I was like, oh, okay, that's an interesting idea.
So I took that voice and started to go, okay, he's an evil Predacon, and we meet him. And
then I'm like, wait a minute, he is a wasp. So we put kind of and he just started throwing ideas at me, and I started bouncing ideas back and forth, and within 5 minutes,
we had come up with Waspinator, and Waspinator was huge.
And then we start working with and it was again, Stu's on board with you're an idiot. Why don't we make the character dumber? And poof. And so it is in a perfect synergy, like a perfect storm. That's how it should be, and it's wonderful to be in that perfect storm because it's all this creativity comes together, and then every now and then lightning strikes, and you get a character that just lands, and it's so much fun. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that now.
And the secret of finding the right actor to play the role, I probably listened to 50 Waspinators. And the secret is when you go into audition and you're looking at the character design and you're trying to figure out the voice, what can I do to get this part? What can I do that's going to be right on fulfilling the writer's intention? That's our job as an actor. What colors can I bring to the character that are real, that are from my gut and heart? And how can this character be different than the 49 other people auditioning for this role? That's the ingredients, guys. And Scotty had that with Waspinator.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For me personally, I ditto to everything everyone said on the panel. It's a visual. Like initially you get the character, the drawing of the character, you look at it, you study it, you're like, okay, trying to figure out exactly what the director, the producers, the creators want. Then you get your sides, so you run over your sides, and then depending on the show that you're working on, some ask for real life sounding voices, so they want your own voice, right? So you don't even have to create a character voice. Sometimes they want it cartoony. Sometimes it works. Depends on what works for the character. But when you go in, you have an idea of what you're capable of doing and what you do in the audition. But if you're lucky enough to have the director in the room, they can, offer their advice and tell you, oh, try it like this or try it like that, which gives you, more of an opportunity. And I think that that's where the magic happens, is not only like you coming into the room, but connecting with the director or the casting director, whoever's auditioning you, so that they bring out the best qualities in your voice or the best, idea of the character. I think
that's one thing that really stuck with me with Sue Blu. I love this woman. Word of mouth. Is that book word of mouth? Huh?
That's the book.
The book. She wrote this book called Word of Mouth about voiceover and voicing. And I've actually used it many times. I love that book. And one thing that's always stuck with me over the years, people say, well, how do you manage to do all those different voices and try that? And I said, well, I watched her. And one day she goes, we have all kinds of different voices in us. We have the voices that are at the top of our head and in our eyes and into our nose, the front of your mouth, the middle of your mouth, the back of your throat, and down into your chest. Now add a little bit of gravel to that, to every one of those, and it's your nose, your eyes, your top of your head. Add a speech impediment of some sort. Change the shape of your jaw. And all of a sudden, you've got like 20, 30 characters that you can play with. Well, 20, 30 foundations that you can play with. And it stuck with me for years. Every time she do that, she does this thing where it takes every resonator in your body.
Yesterday, who was here.
And goes all the way through it. It's pretty amazing to watch.
I sometimes can't understand when a producer or a network executive, and by the way, Venus mentioned sides. Those are the audition. It's like a paragraph that they have to impress with, like a little paragraph sometimes. But when a producer or an executive says to me, okay, here's what we want, Susie, we don't want anybody cartoony. We want like real voices. Well, you know what? That's BS. Because what they want is they want somebody that is multi-dimensional and interesting and quirky. They want a really good actor. So, when they say we don't want, Waspinator, that's about as cartoony as you can get. But it's brilliant because it's a full-dimensional character.
And we love him.
Black Arachnia is a full-dimensional character because she's a good actress. You look at the old films. If you're interested in becoming a voiceover actor or even an actor, try to look up the old black and white Betty Davis films. For the guy, Tracy, Spencer Tracy. You know, look at these films. Humphrey Bogart. They were cartoony, but they were real.
Yeah.
You know? So I always think that producers and executives don't know what they're talking about when they say, we don't want cartoony voices. I mean, I know what they're looking for. So there.
Yeah.
I'll probably never work in this town again.
No, even Robert Mitchum said that.
Because he is the best Waspinator in the world.
Hi. Hold on.
That's right.
I have an interesting question for Scott MacNeil.
How interesting.
Yeah. Say if Dinobot was alive in Beast Machines, how do you think he would react when he finds out the vermin is dating a transforming plant?
You have given me great pause for thought. What would Dinobot think of, good Lord, this never happens. I broke my talker.
Go like, why wasn't I in the series the whole freaking time? I need the paycheck.
We were a little confused, or at least I'm speaking for myself, with Beast Machines. Because, I mean, first of all, I thought the design of the show, the aesthetic of the show was astonishing. Especially from Rattrap's point of view. It's like, okay, I'm no longer a tiny little mouse. I thought he looked dope. But the writing, we were never really sure what was happening. Because they didn't give us any, so, you know, if we'd known maybe that there was this dynamic coming up and this arc coming through with Botanica and Rattrap, and then suddenly Silverbolt was in it, and like, you know, Gary was just going, what's happening with my character? Nothing's happening for 14 episodes. Yeah, I know, I quoted you. And yeah, so what's happening to me? Yeah, it just, we never kind of got a flow going on that, and then fortunately, it took so long for anything to start happening in that series that by the time it kind of started to do it, there was no more series. So I mean, it's not really the answer that probably to the question that you were asking, but it's like I don't know. We didn't know what the heck was going on.
Who's in charge? Here comes the microphone. The microphone is like the version
Oh, right, the talking stick.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen if there was another Rise of the Beasts and characters like Rampage and Lio Convoy and Big Convoy showed up in it?
They would probably give the roles to Taylor Swift. Whoever's the biggest celebrity right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some in the front here. All right.
This one is for Scott and Gary, otherwise known as Hack and Slash.
Yeah.
Are you proud to say that I am Hack?
Simply put, what happened to Reboot?
And what happened to the reboot?
No, what happened to the original?
And I know enough to know that they actually did a reboot, but for some reason, they took the first CG animated TV series ever made, and in the reboot, they decided to do live action.
Yeah. It's a terrible sequel.
And there you have it. This is what happens when executives and producers say, hey, you know what would be a really good idea? You know, I'm thinking that if we had like live people, and then they sort of went into the computer world, and we kept the same villains, but got rid of the heroes and the comic relief. How would that work?
Yeah, it's not 1937 anymore. We don't do those kind of cartoons.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was too soon. Okay. But it was fun to work on. Hack and Slash, they let Gary and I go to town. Well, actually, originally it was you and Phil.
Yes, we ad-libbed.
Like crazy. And we just go, okay, you know what? We got it in the can, it's scripted, so yeah, turn on the Hack and Slash machine and go. Okay, that was funny, do something funnier, go. Okay, that was pretty good. Do something funnier. Go. Okay, we got enough.
Hold
me. One more. Funny. Hold me. Mama always like you best.
He touched me in a place that makes me feel uncomfortable.
You push the button.
So this one.
In charge? Don't make me be in charge.
Just piggybacking on.
About to pop. Blue shirt.
Blue shirt. Here he is. Right here. He's got the mic.
Yep. Oh shit! Sorry, I lost control. Sorry about saying shoot.
Shoot.
That's the network version.
So you just mentioned ad-libbing. I wanted to ask Sue, did your cast ad-lib a lot during Beast Wars, and did any lines actually make it into the script or into the final versions?
I loved when they ad-libbed. There was nobody that ad-libbed more than Scotty. You know,
because I can't read properly.
Yeah, I loved giving the freedom to the actors to be able to do that. But I knew that we had to do a take like that, but as written, because what it does do for the animators, it kind of boxes them in if you don't have, if you do that too much, because they just can't animate that. And it messes them up, and then we have to bring them in after it's animated to do the ADR, which is automatic dialogue replacement, because the animator will go, I am not going to use that ad-lib, and I am animating it this way, and then so later we have to bring the actors into ADR if the budget allows it.
Yeah.
You know, so I always like to do a safe take of go ahead, do your ad-lib, be free as a bird, but give me one as written.
Or the animators just go, you know what, let's put a mask on.
So I had a question about this because we're talking about voice acting, voice directing. Chopperface of Dinobot's nickname from Rattrap. Where did that come from? Because I'm clueless as to how you would get from a Velociraptor to Chopperface.
I don't think that was something. I don't think that's something. I don't think that was something that I created. I think again that was Larry and Bob writing. Yeah. You know, and when the clues in the script are that powerful and that strong, is this thing on? Check one. I like this one better. I can relax. Excuse me. When the clues are in the script, it makes our job very easy. And in subtle clues like that, in simple things like that, because, you know, as soon as, you know, you're going, okay, I'm not really sure what this character's about. Hey, I just called somebody Chopperface. That tells me a lot about the character that I'm playing. And then you start, the first time, like Silverbolt, when he came in, they brought in two new characters, Quickstrike and Silverbolt, and I read from both. And I was really aiming at Quickstrike. I went, I get that, that's fun. Although Murdoch just killed it, so it was like, I'm not even touching that. But then they gave me Silverbolt, which surprised me. And they were going like, well, just use your voice. And I'm going, I have no idea what that is. And we did a couple, well, technically, none of this is my real voice. But, and then I said the word citizen. And I don't know if it was in the script or I just said it in the studio. And suddenly it was just like, there he is, citizen. All right, stand, you know, and suddenly there was this whole paladin, like, you know, dumb but honorable. And so those little clues are invaluable to us. I mean, sometimes the writing just does the work. You just read the line, you're like, there it is. There's the character. All I got to do is make it talk. I love writers. I love good ones.
So, you know, one of the phenomenal things about casting is I have sat behind the table with producers and directors casting for my partner or whatever in a TV show or a movie, and or a play. I remember doing this audition for a play called Osage Orange County. It's a big play. Anyway, they wanted me to come in and read with 4 or 5 different women, and so I did. And the remarkable thing about those actors when they came on stage is every single one of them brought something unique, something different, and you act accordingly to what they give you, so you react off of them, you know. And then there's this kind of a strange thing with organic casting or organic playing in our animation as well. But I remember a couple of times I'm sitting with producers and them, and I'm saying, I don't know how you're going to choose this person. And this one girl who actually got the part, they said, I don't know, there was a little moment where the vulnerability showed through, like a little beam of light through a dark wall. And I said, yeah? And she said, that's the one. And she was the one. And it was really remarkable because she was hilarious. And then on the other side of that coin, I am doing a big old mini-series many years ago, and I sat with the producers, and we were trying to pick a defense lawyer for Farrah Fawcett in a mini-series called Small Sacrifices. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching all these guys. They're all A-list actors out of Toronto. And they're all really good.
I don't know how you're going to chew. I don't know how you're going to chew, but the guy, Lou Rudolph, who was the producer, he turns around and he goes, honey, calls his wife. His wife comes over, watches the tape, and she goes, I love that tie. The guy was wearing a bright yellow tie, and she said, I love that tie. And that guy got the job.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre, but true. But don't get me wrong. Every one of those actors was fabulous. You could have spun a wheel of fortune and hit on him, and everyone would have done a good job. But she said, the yellow tie.
But that's how it works. So you just never know. There's always something magical that shines through, like Sue was saying, and like with Scott with his Waspinator voice, and you just look at it and you go, ooh, that's pretty cool. I know I stole a voice for a show called Weirdos. Remember Weirdos?
I played the mechanic. And I thought, I like mustard on my French fries because it tastes really good. And take that old sling blade, and just throw it up there, and there you go.
And they went, oh, that's the voice. And I stole it off of the movie Sling Blade.
Funny.
What are your thoughts on Kingdom, and if you were given the chance to voice on it, would you?
What is Kingdom?
The Netflix series.
Yeah, the Netflix series.
Okay, yeah, I didn't really know what it was until people started bringing the toys up, and I'm like, excuse me, the collectible, posable action figures. And I was signing stuff, and I'm like, what's this from? And they're like, oh, it's from, because I'm going, that's Dinobot, that's Rattrap. I went, oh, okay, so there's a series. Am I in it?
No.
Yeah, well, kind of, like Waspinator was voiced by Tom Kenny in another series, and you're like,
Waspinator, no one to live in pineapple under the sea.
but at least it's frickin' Tom Kenny, you know what I mean? This one, at the risk of throwing shade, because I don't know much about it, but universally the reaction I've got from you guys is, Netflix tried to save it, and they hired, and it's like, is it any good? They're like, it's awful. Like, who's the voice of, they go, I don't know, they just got some guy and he stinks. Who's the voice of blah, blah, blah? It's like, I don't know, they just got some guy and he stinks. It's if you're going to pay $50 a day for voice talent, that's what you're going to get.
That was a non-union show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a non-union show.
Non-union show.
Huh? Yeah, it was, because I remember watching it and going, man, you could drive a truck through these lines. It's just like...
Wow.
And then it's like,
they
do
didn't
we
ask
sell
me
the show?
to direct
Sure.
it because they know well, and they also know how I feel about unions.
Yeah. How come it's not pronounced onion?
Well, unfortunately, we have reached
Don't cross
our time.
the line.
Sue's favorite direction with me. Scotty, act faster. Scotty, act faster. Scotty, act faster. No holes in that. So, they're getting what they're paid for. They don't really care. Should have got Taylor Swift. I didn't even know where that came from.
If anybody can get tickets to Taylor Swift for Scott MacNeil, he would love you forever.
I cite her as an example.
All right. Let's give it up for Venus.
One more question. Yeah, we got hands. Who's got a quick question? A very quick
I got time for one more question.
1, 2, 3, hands up.
All right, y'all pick
Oh,
'em.
you just snuck it in. How fast can you move with that microphone?
I can move very fast.
Can you speak?
I get paid to be loud.
Well, there you go.
Give us one thing that you got back from, learned from a character you played.
Waspinator was an idiot? You know, I'm explaining something like Dinobot. I go, okay, that must have come from somewhere. Maybe I'm a little better person than I think I am. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, lightning round.
The one thing I learned was being a dad is really hard.
Using your brains instead of your looks.
Shout it out. Okay, there's one in the back, sort of in the back, middle back, directly behind the red, beautiful shirt with the flames on it. So if you turn around, you just look behind yourself to see who.
Defensive back, go.
Go fast.
If you could add an animal from Beast Wars, like a Maximum or Predacon, who would you add?
Who would I add?
Well, like an animal.
To my breakfast menu?
No. Like, who would you add as an animal that wasn't in Beast Wars? Like, not another rat, of course.
You know, I don't think it'd be bloody nice if they had like a kiwi or a kangaroo, some sort of.
Kangaroo?
Unbiased.
Okay, we gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Could eviscerate you.
Okay.
We got 2 hands.
Oh, we have to stop.
You and then you. Go fast. What was the favorite character I ever played? The one that paid the most. And this.
And
Very quick for Gary. You played Optimus Prime and Primal, I think it was about 5 series. Yeah. What was your favorite?
My favorite? Oh, Beast Wars, without a doubt.
And scene. All right. So we got a raffle that we're gonna do before you guys leave, and everyone has a ticket that got tickets from the door, right? So let's get this done like real quick because we got to move to our next panel, and we're gonna choose 4 winners in this one. Okay. Each one of you is gonna pull a ticket and just read the number.
Wow.
Oh, here it comes. I feel it. It's getting warmer. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. 5, 8, 9, 5, 3, 6.
If that's your ticket, come on up.
9, 5, 3, 6.
Or raise your hand. All right, come on up. All right. So sponsored by YOLO Park, you get to pick which one you want. All right. And we'll choose, while you're doing that, we'll choose the next number.
Would it be too much to ask if you could sign this while I'm here?
I will not sign that because that is the new one.
That's the new one.
Okay, well, all right, I'll sign it.
Okay.
Just to spite somebody.
Without my glasses. What is that, 669?
5, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Under the B. 5, 8, 9.
4, 8, 4.
4, 8, 4.
There
4,
we
8,
have
4.
a winner.
Come on up.
You, sir. You, ma'am.
All right, and the next one.
Yes.
Let's pick which one you want.
Okay.
Ready? Get your ticket.
Ready? 5, 8, 9, 4, 7, 0.
Yes.
Now that's how you win.
And the last one.
Okay, this is tough. Choose.
Okay, the last one is 589 488.
Okay. Okay, now the last one gets to choose which one you want. You get to choose which one you want. Optimus Prime, Optimus Primal, or Bumblebee?
You get to keep Gary.
Yes, I get a Gary!
Now you're gonna have to feed him and keep his box clean.
Is it Primal? Okay. All righty. Okay. Thank you for coming. Give it up for Venus Terzo, Sue Blu, Scott MacNeil, and Garry Chalk.